Rapids Nation. We are joined by Devon Pimm, defenseman from the Grand Falls Rapids. How you doing, Devon?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
Good, thanks. And where are you? Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Stansted, Quebec. My dad and mom both work at a prep school here, Stansted College. I've been here since the end of the season. It's where I live and train in the off season. So,
Awesome. And how's that? How's the off season been going for you?
about as good as one can hope for during all this. I've been lucky enough that to have some workout equipment at the house here while the gyms have been shut down. So been able to keep up with the off-season training. Unfortunately, they took the ice out, which is means I'm in the same boat as everyone else. But it's been good. Been able to keep working out, keep in shape. Been able to work a little bit at the school while all the students are gone. They're doing some updates, some maintenance. So it's good. I've been keeping busy.
That's good. That's good. And relatively unaffected by what's going on with the COVID situation in your area. I know Quebec was particularly hard hit. So how are things there?
Yeah, in our region, we've been pretty well off so far. It's mostly small towns kind of scattered through the mountains near the Vermont border. So we've been relatively untouched by, different travelers and stuff like that. Sherbrooke is about 45 minutes from here. I know they've had a few cases, but other than that, we've been pretty safe and healthy around here.
Oh, that's great. That's good to hear. So we've been keeping busy doing some workouts and just kind of your normal off season routine. Or are you doing something a little bit different this year?
Well, obviously, I can't do the same lifting that I like to do, but I've got some free weights at home that I'm able to create some pretty good hockey specific workouts. Doing a lot of body weight stuff, a lot of conditioning. As much as us hockey players don't like to run around all that much, we prefer skating. I've been able to get myself to get going around the track and flip some tires in the field. So it's been good.
That's good. Good. So what do you think about the talk about the season possibly being delayed, the start of the season? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, it's hard, obviously, to predict what's going to go on with all this. Everyone's in the same boat, no matter if you're a hockey player, just, working. A lot of people are out of work and unsure of what's going to happen, within the next 12 to 18 months even. So I think knowing that we're all in the same boat, it's kind of all up to ourselves to keep some perspective and stay focused to make sure that when the season does roll around, we're ready as we can be.
Yep. And how does that, so knowing that the season may be delayed, the start of the season may be delayed, how does that affect your training? I know you guys have a pretty set routine as you ramp up toward what would normally be the season start. So how does that, if the season is delayed, how does that affect what you're doing?
Well, obviously you got to plan a little differently than most years. You know, uh, just me personally, I usually begin every spring, summer in the off season, trying to go kind of like heavier in the gym, gain some muscle, add some muscle, and add a little bit of weight. And then once you get a little closer to camp and later in the summer, I take my workouts more towards more conditioning and speed work and stuff like that. So I think right now, oh, sorry, screen blacked out there. I wasn't sure if anything happened, but right now I'm just kind of trying to make sure I've got like an even routine with all those kind of things right now. So doing all different types of workouts, conditioning, speed, and making sure that I'm still working on the little skills like shooting pucks and stick handling. Obviously, skating, we're all at that loss right now, but I think still trying to make sure that you're getting better each and every day, just a little bit in a different facet of your game or your fitness is still important. And you just got to sit tight and hope that the delay, if there is one, isn't as long as, potentially the entire season or even half the season.
Right. Makes sense. And what are your thoughts on the NHL's recent announcement there, the 24 team playoff format?
Well, I'm happy because my Ottawa Senators still have the best odds of getting Lafreniere, so I can't complain about that. The only thing I guess I could complain about is how late they're predicting the start to be. I mean, it's good that they have all the three phases and they seem like they do make sense and work well. I think we'd all just want it to start earlier than mid or early August.
Yeah, I tell you, it's got to we got to have some live sports back on TV sometime soon.
Yeah,
I was joking around.
yeah. UFC, you can only get you so far. It's only once a week, and
Yeah,
don't really want to pay $50 in pay-per-view every Saturday night. But until
well,
then,
the
it's
other thing,
pretty.
they're playing those repeats of past NHL series, right? And I can't watch that
Yeah.
'93. I can't watch the '93 LA Toronto series anymore. It's just heartbreaking.
Oh,
So,
it's been pretty eye-opening for me. My parents are both from British Columbia, and that's where I was born and lived there till I was about 10 years old. And we were watching the Canucks final against the Rangers, and of course you know the outcome, but you watch and you still hope for something different to happen. And we're watching something that happened 25, 30 years ago. It's still heart-wrenching.
yep, no, absolutely, absolutely. Have you been catching up on anything else Netflix wise or anything like that while you've been off that you want to recommend to people maybe they should tune into?
Oh, I don't know. I know a lot of friends been watching a show called Outer Banks. I tried to get into it, couldn't quite. Seemed like just like an hour-long Hollister commercial over and over again. I couldn't quite get into it, but I don't know. Right now, just watching Modern Family reruns. Finished the Michael Jordan documentary. I thought that was really good and a lot of cool stuff I didn't quite know about him. So that was really entertaining. But right now, I'm not really into anything that's serious.
You been watching anybody interesting on social media or following anybody?
Uh, no one in particular. There's a couple of hockey pages on Instagram that are posting the different workouts that NHLers are doing. So it's been cool to see how they're all dealing with this because obviously they're technically still in season, right? So to see how the different guys are working out. Some of them have their own home gyms and stuff like that, but others they've gone back home and they're living out on their farms or their pieces of land they have. And it's been cool to see how they're trying to stay in shape or what they're doing to pass the time.
Right, not turning into tub time with PK every Tuesday and Thursday.
No, no, I know PK Subban's quite the animal in the gym, that's for sure. It's pretty entertaining to see the type of weights he's throwing around. I mean, yeah, he's a pretty big guy, and you watch him, and it makes you feel quite a bit smaller. But he's definitely an entertaining guy watching his workout videos.
I watched one the other day where he was doing pull-ups and he had the chain wrapped around his ankles with weights connected to that. I mean,
Oh yeah,
pull-ups are hard enough to do on their own, in my opinion. But when you start adding, a couple 100 pounds of weight on your feet, that's yeah, that guy is a beast. That's for sure. But yeah, tub time. I've caught a couple episodes of that, and it's pretty hilarious, actually. So it's
yeah. He's a character for sure.
so. Have you been keeping in touch with anybody else in the team over the break?
Yeah, I've been in touch with a few guys: Sean Olivier, Watt, Drew Toner, Isaac Dixon. They're all kind of in the same boat. We're all looking for work and all missing the boys, of course. But yeah, it's hard because we're all trying to stay busy, and some of us, are able to just work out, shoot pucks all day long. Others are, hard at work with what work that there is around. But I think if there's one common theme, it's that we all would like to see each other, in mid-August, as
Nice.
opposed to any later than that.
For sure. Makes sense. So last year was your first season in Grand Falls. Give me some impressions of when you got here. Give me some impressions of the town, what you liked, and if you didn't like anything, let us know that too. But just be careful because it is a small town now.
I've got nothing but good things to say about Grand Falls. I loved it from the moment I got there, joining the guys in Yarmouth for a road game. It was an awesome experience, and obviously we were a young team. We had our struggles, but we also had our successes. But to just see how well the town stuck through us, especially when we did go through our slumps and our struggles, it just creates so much optimism around the team for what could be or what will be when we turn it on this year and for years to come. I think there's definitely a lot of potential, and there's a lot of stuff that we already have to be proud of. So once we do turn the corner and show up this year and win some hockey games and definitely make a run at the title, I think it'll be really fun to see.
Nice. And talk to me a little bit about what happens when you guys are going through one of those slumps. I mean, what's the conversation that takes place amongst the players? I mean, obviously the coach has got his own way of dealing with those things with you guys, but what goes on from a player's perspective and the kind of chat that goes on around that?
Well, when the team's struggling, obviously we're not oblivious to it as players, right? We know that it starts and stops with us and our performance. So I think when we do go through these struggles, we try our best to refocus, and make sure that we're doing what we can to stop the struggle, but also to continue getting better. Because, you gotta fail forward, right? So you can be all right sometimes with failing as long as you're progressing in that failure. When we know that what we're doing is improper, we're not taking the right steps to create success for ourselves, that's when we can kind of get down on ourselves sometimes. But when we do go through those droughts or those losing streaks, we know that all we have to do is come to the rink every day with an attitude that we want to get better, and that we're willing to get better, right? So I think Coach Brad McKenzie did a great job with us when we went through that slump in January and early December, make sure that he was coaching us up. He didn't ever get down on us too hard. He just let us know where we stood and what we had to do to get better, and helped us make sure we kept our focus in doing that.
Awesome. That's great. And who was the biggest influence on your life, would you say, that growing up? From a hockey perspective, from personal perspective, you choose.
Well, this might sound a little cliche, but obviously my father has had the greatest impact on my life and career as a hockey player. He's someone that's been in the game for 30 years now as a coach, and he obviously played a little bit growing up. But guys like him, my uncle Stu, who was the general manager of the Kamloops Blazers in the 90s and mid 2000s kind of. And so people like that, I get to lean on and get guidance from and advice. They've had a huge impact in shaping the player and person that I am.
Right on. So what does life hold for you after hockey? When, too old to be playing for the Rapids in a couple of years from now, where do you go?
Well, I think after I'm done with university and then hockey, if I get to play past university and any pro experience at all, whatever that may entice, I hope to enter law school eventually, and maybe become a lawyer or player agent, something like that. I think that's something that I'm really interested in, and I think a law degree is obviously something that can be very useful in a lot of facets of the work industry. So,
for sure, no, that's great. Well, listen, I got one more question for you, and I've been asking this of everybody that I've talked to so far, so can't break the cycle with you yet. Your Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, standing on the bench pre-game, the camera scrolls down the bench, stops at you, you look right in the camera, and who's the first person you say hi to?
My mom, for sure.
And then actually one follow-up question, who's the person that took you to practice early in the morning, those early Saturday morning practices and such?
Oh, well, it actually alternated between my dad and my mom. Some the years that my dad was coaching, it was definitely him, because obviously he had to pull me out of bed and he had to go run practice himself, right? But my mom's a trooper. She's been up with all three of us, my older sister and my younger brother. They both play hockey as well. So she's been right there, 5 a.m., pulling us out of bed. And wow, never really had to pull us out of bed. We were always pretty excited to get to the rink, but she's always been there for those drives and even waiting at the rink. So yeah, I'd say the both of them they were tasked with that pretty tough job.
That's great. Well, hey, listen, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your off season to chat with us. Hopefully we'll get to see you at the beginning of the end of the summer here, beginning of the fall for the regular season start. If it is delayed, well, we'll chat again before then. But thanks very much, and you stay safe.
Thank you, David.
All right, take care, man.